We have arrived at Friday before the biggest, best, maybe most important regular season game that the NFL has seen in a decade, maybe ever. You don't have 14-win teams squaring off. But before we get to it, I can't help myself. I'm feeling spicy today. Can we run the Anzalone audio back? Can you just, I don't know why athletes have to do this. The Lions in the last 5 games against legitimate opponents have given up 33 points a game. There's only one team in football that's been worse defensively than you. It's the Carolina Panthers. Like, Alex, yes, you coming back helps, but you're not Aleem McNeil and Carlton Davis and Aiden Hutchinson. This is the stuff that drives me crazy, where everything has to be ultimate aggrievement, where Alex Anzalone thinks it's dumb and it's ridiculous. No, it's not. No team in the history of this league has given up 33 points a game and won a Super Bowl. Full stop. So either the defense gets better or you don't win a Super Bowl. But go ahead, play the audio. Let's listen to aggrievement. Well, why is it dumb? Please tell me, Nostradamus, why is it dumb? You admit you haven't been doing your job. And by the way, you've been hurt, so I have nothing. You're part of the reason they're bad. You coming back will help. But which is it? This is where I guys, when you wonder why I just hate, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult anybody. This is why we don't interview athletes on this show. It's a complete waste of time. And look, Anzalone can't really get up there and be honest. He can't. Like when Dan Campbell comes on the morning show, he's as honest as any coach in the league, but he still can't be honest, if you know what I mean. So no, Anzalone's not going to get up there and go, yeah, our defense stinks. I guess the critics are making a good point. No, it's a no-win situation for Alex Anzalone, but what I don't need is what he did. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's dumb. Is it? 33 points a game. Just stop. You don't need to say it. It's silliness. If you go out and you give up 35 points here, what are you going to do? You going to beat the Vikings? It's silly. And what's even better is the silliness of the first phone call I'm receiving today. So, Jerry, I'll save you the time. I'm not interested. Oh, we're 4-1 in the stretch. Hang up the phone. You're not understanding it. And I'm not your mommy. I'm not going to explain it to you. So you can sit there all day on hold. Not interested. Winning a Super Bowl, you got to be better than this. That's not negativity. Negativity is me towards caller Jerry in a car who I don't know and nor will I speak to. Because at every turn, you people just can't live in reality. And it drives me out of my effing mind. It's okay to have a concern about this defense when they're giving up 33 points a game. You played San Francisco last week. There were no punts. You think you're running that to a Super Bowl? You played the Bills. They just scored again. Is that what we're running into a Super Bowl? No, the defense has to play better. The criticism is valid. It's justified. It's okay. And we can hope they can outrun it in a historical run. Hope is not a strategy. And you know what else I don't like? If you disagree with something, that you just call it dumb. No, Alex, it's not dumb. You're without 7 opening day starters, including you. Reality kicks in. Defense, you admit, has to be better. Then stop right there. Say you're excited to get back. Say you believe in the guys in the room. Hell, hype up a couple teammates. Tell me you got big-time playmakers like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. Hell, say you're a big playmaker. But what we don't need is this, because then it's clean up aisle me. And everyone hears the audio, and then when you have a legitimate discussion, it turns into nonsense land. So if you think you're just going to outscore everyone and win every game 41-38, good for you. That's not how it's worked in the history of this sport. Do I think your offense can absolutely spearhead you to a title? Sure it can. But not giving up 33 a game. Not playing entire playoff games that don't feature a punt. And you know what else? Here's the other thing. Dan Campbell is a wonderful head coach. Dan Campbell has turned himself into arguably the preeminent head coach in the sport. Do you know what isn't really fair? The fact that your defensive coordinator can't plan anything because they don't have any bodies, and that your coach, aggressiveness is one thing. Campbell doesn't even get a choice anymore. He doesn't. Going forward on his own 30, that's not what he wants to do. It's what he has to do. 4th and 8, it's what he has to do. Dan Campbell's openly telling you my defense isn't good enough. So I wanted to just start with the audio because it annoyed me in the update. And then I'm like, why are we waiting? Let's just dive in. Listen, this team can do it, but the defense is going to have to be better. And better can be in the form of turnovers. Better doesn't have to equal punts or sacks. It can just be turning people over. But the other thing I've heard on this station that really does upset me as we head into Sunday night, stop comparing them to the greatest show on turf, Rams, unless you're willing to say that the Rams had the number 4 rated defense in the league that year and led the league in forcing turnovers. So just please, this is going to be dramatic and fun and awesome. But the defense can't continue to be this bad, or you won't win a Super Bowl. And no, Alex, that's not dumb or BS. We've arrived at a point in society now. You say something someone doesn't agree with, they don't attack what you're saying. They just say, I don't like things like that. It's dumb, it's stupid. No, it's not. And if this Lions defense had a couple of its critical pieces back, it's not a conversation. But they have descended into the abyss, and the correlation, the direct correlation is the onset of injuries and playing good teams. So I don't really understand the aggrievement angle. We know how they're going to have to do it. The offense, it's going to be a race to 30 every week. They're going to go for it on 3, 4, 5 fourth downs a week. And they're going to have to find a way, by hook or by crook, turnovers, the other team doing something stupid, bad penalties. God help us if we force a punt, but do just enough so Ben Johnson and Jared Goff and this wonderful offense can get you to the promised land. But we got to stop with whistling by the graveyard and acting like actual concern or actual criticism is somehow invalid because you don't like it and it doesn't give you an erection. That's not what being an adult is. Again, you've given up the second most points in football the last 5 weeks. If the defense doesn't get better, you're going home. And that's not anything anyone wants to see. Can they get better? Well, yeah, because they can't get worse. Again, last week in San Francisco, you played a team that is down Christian McCaffrey, who might be one of the 5 best football players in the league, down Brandon Ayuk, and down their entire O-line. Forget about defensive injuries. Just look at what Frisco had on offense. They didn't punt. It's unsustainable. Minnesota coming to town this week. Do you think you're winning this game if you don't force a punt? Come on. You know deep down what the answer is. So instead of taking the Anzalone approach, just be an adult about it. It's not BS. It's not dumb. It's factual. If you're going to give up 33 a game, you're not winning the Super Bowl. Why? Because it's never been done. So let's just talk. Do I think you're winning Sunday? I do. But it has very little to do with the defense. It has everything to do with, I think Sam Darnold, who does make more turnover-worthy throws than any other quarterback in football, I just happen to believe he's going to hand you one. And that's all I need. That's the difference. Goff has shredded Brian Flores their last couple of meetings. I don't think Flores will change. I don't think his ego will let him. Guys like Flores or Todd Bowles or Wink Martindale or Rex Ryan, right? Like these real alleged defensive gurus who love to blitz, they don't change. They have a fastball, they throw fastball. They're a closer, they're Aroldis Chapman, but they don't have a slider. So, yes, the turnovers are how the defense can get better. Because on a personnel basis, they don't have anybody else. Anzalone will help. There's no doubt. I want him back desperately. He's a good football player. He's a green dot linebacker. Those are hard to come by. And Jack Campbell's done a good job in his absence. But you're better with Anzalone. But when you're missing the pieces you're missing, no. I think calling it dumb and BS, you know what? If that's what they need to do to convince themselves, fine. In that room, they can't talk the way we talk. And they shouldn't. And they have to believe in themselves. These are the guys sacrificing their body. I understand that. But what I don't like is when comments like that are then put over the airwaves, then what? We've got to be janitors and clean it up. Because what it does is it vilifies actual conversation. And when you're headed into the biggest regular season game in the Lions' history, I don't think calling something dumb or BS that's rooted in facts, I don't think that's productive. I think it's silly. So, yeah, I have a problem with the audio. He could say whatever he wants. That's free speech. So can we. I don't think there's merit in what he's saying. He doesn't like hearing the criticism, therefore it's BS and dumb. Okay, well, that's how kids talk. And Alex Anzalone is not a kid. That's a grown-ass man. Like, come on. You got to understand the difference, people. He can say it. That's how players need to think. What I'm saying is you don't have to subscribe to it like it's coming from the mouth of Jesus. No disrespect, David. Although Alex's hair is biblical. It's beautiful. But do you understand what I'm saying, David? Like when the Lions talk, people are treating it like they are the Messiah. We have to stop. You can think for yourselves.
Lions fans has fallen in line with whatever the team players say.
Which is not how things are done.
Should never be how things are done.
Maybe after your third Super Bowl and you want to pretend you're Patriot fans, maybe then we arrive at that stage. In the here and now, I'm still waiting for our first parade. Let's chase that. And the headline is simple. It's not dumb or BS to say you have a concern about the defense and that it's not Super Bowl caliber. It's not. Here, want something else? I'll give it to you. The last 10 Super Bowl champions. Do you know the average points per game they gave up? Oh, I do. 16. You're giving up 32.3 the last 5 weeks. Is that BS? Is that dumb? Let's elevate the conversation a little bit. All right? A game of this magnitude where you're favored by 2.5, not 200.5, it's okay to have some concerns. Now, I will present you with an area of confidence I have. Once again, it has nothing to do with the defense. We'll do that next. 248-539-9797.